Do you have this rare skin type? Find out why this skin type is so important and what you can do to get it, even if you don't have this skin type, here in this video. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to give you a special gift that covers everything in this video and more. So stay tuned till the end. In this video, we're going to discuss why the skin type is so important, how to maintain the skin's health, how to identify the skin type, the pros and cons to this skin type, other skin conditions such as dehydrated skin, aging, sensitivity, sun damage, and acne, how to create a proactive skincare regimen to keep skin healthy and youthful, and the 3 categories to skincare. So you're probably wondering right now, what skin type am I talking about? And the skin type that I'm talking about is normal skin type. But before you leave, the reason I'm using this before I tell you about other skin types is because this is the skin type that all other skin types should be trying to mimic. The reason for that is because normal skin type has a perfect water and oil ratio. It is what it should be for healthy, beautiful skin. And if you haven't seen one of my latest videos that I made about how oil traps water in the skin, that is another video you should watch because it does discuss a little bit about the skin types slightly and the oil content that makes up the majority of what a skin type is. So this is one for you to listen to very, very carefully and very closely so that when I do make the other videos for your skin type that you may have, you'll get an understanding of why we are doing the skincare routine that we do in order to mimic this skin type that we're talking about in this video. So how do we identify normal skin type exactly? So I'll give you a few tips to what normal skin is and how to identify it. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the first signs is that it does have a perfect oil and water ratio all throughout the entire skin. So it's always balanced, it's always soft, smooth, and supple. It has a good amount of bounce and texture. It has good collagen and elastin. Sometimes they'll even say that it doesn't have sun damage, but I'm not gonna say that that rules it out, that could still be normal skin. So out of all the skin and faces that I have seen in my profession, which were quite a lot, I had only had 2 people in my office that had come through with normal skin type. There were a few common things about the 2 of them where both of them did drink lots of water throughout the day. It was just a lifestyle that they chose for themselves. Now, I know I've mentioned in other videos that drinking water will not actually solve your dry skin problem and hydrate your skin. Again, this is also their lifestyle, so this could be interfering or working effectively, I should say, with their skin while they're drinking that much water. But they obviously had other healthier routines throughout their life in order to probably help maintain that moisture in their skin. The thing too is it is genetic, so them drinking water probably helped a little bit to it, but in reality, their skin naturally was going to be normal. So normal skin type actually has a really good soft feel to the skin. It is not rough, it's not dry, obviously. It has a good resilience, so it has a good bounce to it when you touch it and tap it. It just has a good spring to it because of the amount of collagen and elastin that's in there. They don't have any large pores and they don't have necessarily invisible pores. They do still have pores. They're just not very noticeable because their skin does not create an immense amount of oil because it's balanced. They also have really good circulation throughout the skin, so a lot of blood work is really effective, but in a good way. So it's not like they're red and flushed or anything. It's just they really do have good blood that goes throughout their entire skin, which helps them give that natural glow, that healthy look, that just overall good skin look and health and youth to their skin. Like I said earlier, they do have a good perfect balance of oil and water ratio, so they don't have like an oily T-zone or an oily amount of face or like super dry. Now, can this skin type get a little dehydrated? Sure, any skin type can get dehydrated. So it is important for them to also know how to keep it hydrated as well. And this is something that I teach like deliberately in my practice because most people's skin is dehydrated. So the pros and cons to this skin type in particular is, as we know, the pro is that it's perfectly well balanced, it's got good skin health, it just has everything that every other skin type really wishes they had. However, the con side to their skin type are actually two things. One of them is that you are prone to damage. If you do not know how to take care of your skin, have a good skincare regimen, being proactive, keeping the skin healthy the way it is and maintaining it, you are going to have some damage happening, which is aging. So you'll start to notice the skin starts to age over time and will also get dehydrated as well. The other part to it too is, as you age, even if you were to keep your skin health pretty well and everything, just the fact that you're living on this planet for so many years, and as you start getting more into middle age, your skin type can start to change into more of a dry skin type, where the oil isn't produced as much. Everything in the body starts to kind of slow down. You know, your metabolism, the stomach acids that you need to help digest food kind of start to go down a bit. Everything just starts to basically degenerate. It slows down, it cuts off. And so this is what can happen to someone with normal skin type. If they don't keep with their skincare regimen and they're not being proactive, as they age, their skin will start to become more dry. Dry skin type is a skin type that doesn't make or create any oil. So we're gonna see that oil content, that perfect water and oil ratio, that oil content is gonna kind of dwindle a bit, where they won't produce as much, creating it so that the hydration in the skin will probably start to leave a lot easier and a lot faster. So that's something to kind of think about. And that's why having a good skincare regimen is super important. You need to know how to do it, to be proactive, to keep the skin healthy. And even when you do get older and it starts to change, you know how to maintain and keep your skin as that changes. There's also a few other skin conditions that can happen. We did just already mention dehydration of the skin a bit. We also mentioned a little bit of the aging. Those things are very, very common with this skin type as you get older, or if you're not maintaining your skin's natural health. Now, sensitivity can be another thing with this skin type in particular. Not in general in the beginnings, like in your younger years mainly, unless you've done damage to your skin or you've neglected or abused your skin. But as you get older, it's possible you can get a sense of sensitivity due to that lack of oil that's happening, and skin can start getting sensitive when there's not enough water now left in the skin. Sun damage can happen to anyone, regardless of ethnicity or of course sex or anything like that. Sun damage does happen. Now, I know a lot of people might wish that this wasn't considered sun damage, but even freckles can be, and are actually, I shouldn't say they can be, they are sun damage. What it is the melanocytes are producing or oxidizing and producing melanin in order to protect your skin from the damaging sun rays. Now, I know there are some people out there that are going to disagree and say, but the sun is healthy. There are parts to it that are healthy, yes, but you really don't need much sun on a daily basis. It's really, I think it was stated that you only need about like 10 minutes a day at best for the sun. And a lot of people seem to get a lot more sun than they realize. Just going out driving, walking to and from the store or anything like that, or being just by windows in general can actually create a lot of sun exposure naturally. I'm not gonna go too far into this because I will make another video about sun damage on the skin, but just to keep this in mind that this can happen to anybody. The last skin condition that this skin type could possibly get is acne, but it's pretty rare for this skin type in particular to get acne. However, it doesn't mean that they can't get acne, because from my experience and from what I've seen, about 98% of acne is actually an internal issue. So it could mean anything, that you're missing vitamins or minerals in your diet. It could be that you're eating something that you could be allergic to, and that's how your skin is just creating it. It could also be hormonal issues as well. I'll discuss more about these skin conditions later in their own videos, later sometime either this month or the following month. All right, so here's where I'm going to share with you very quickly a good skincare regimen, particularly for this normal skin type. But before I do, the first thing I want to just discuss quickly is the 3 categories of skincare. And I like to break them down this way. I don't know of anyone else who has, and you may never have heard it this way, but this is how I like to discuss it. And what skincare really is it's broken down into 3 categories, and the 3 categories are cleaning, feeding and protecting. That's really what skincare is, and it's trying to keep and maintain and build health upon the skin. And we have different things that we use in order to help create and build and make a good skincare regimen to help balance out any skin types and to keep the health and beauty of the skin. Now, for normal skin type, we shouldn't really have to be fixing anything necessarily, but really what we're doing is we want to maintain its health and its beauty. We want to keep that going. We want to keep it from getting worse as we age. So this is a skincare regimen that will help to maintain the beauty and youth of this normal skin type. So the first part I'm going to talk to you about is the cleaning step. And there's actually a few steps to getting this all down to make sure you properly clean the skin well. Now, if you happen to wear makeup, I want you to first use some sort of makeup remover, whether that's a makeup wipe, oil cleansing, or like a microfiber towel. And you're going to gently use those things on your skin to just really get rid of the majority of the makeup off. And then you're going to do a cleanse, and you're going to cleanse your skin. Now, cleansing your skin, you are going to want to do that about 2 times afterwards, after removing most of your makeup, because the first time you use your cleanser is you're going to basically remove all the makeup off now. The second cleanse after that will be to just be for certain that you have it off, even though you should have it off. But in case you happen to just miss a little bit, you're going to get it all off. Now, I do like a specific cleanser, and I actually have a video that I talk about on this cleanser because I love it so much. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I keep talking about this cleanser, so I'm not really going to talk much about it. But it is specifically made for people with normal skin, but pretty much any skin type should be able to use this cleanser. So I would prefer you to use this cleanser twice before moving on to the next cleaning step. Normal skin type can also use a foaming cleanser if they like. If they prefer a little bit more of the bubbles and stuff, you can use that as well. I prefer you to use one that when you pump it, it's already pre-foamed for you, since that seems to be a little bit more gentle. And I just prefer that one a little bit more specifically for this skin type. And of course, with the cleanser, you should be using it day and night. Now, the next cleaning step would be to exfoliate. Now, I don't want you exfoliating every day, so this is a step once a week. And the way I want you to exfoliate ultimately is through enzymes. Preferably one maybe added with some AHAs, which are alpha hydroxy acids. This will also hydrate the skin a little bit more and evenly remove the skin cells off your skin to keep it smooth and soft and supple. Now, I do have a video on the enzyme that I like to use, which is the pumpkin enzyme. So you can watch that video here that I've displayed here and down in the description below. This next cleaning step will be using a toner. Now for the feeding stage. So we have 2 products that are going to feed your skin. And so what a mask is going to do, as it sits on your skin, it has that ability and time to feed the skin while it sits there. So it's going to kind of force feed the skin a little bit, since you have this fairly thick layer of some sort of mask that you put on. Now, this will be something like you can use a cream mask, for example. That's a good one. That's usually going to be more anti-aging, and that's going to be more conditioning for the skin. But if you use one with like more of a gel or a serum like feel to it, it's going to be more of a hydrating mask for you. Now, you can always use a sheet mask, and the reasons those work pretty well is because that sheet that is placed onto the skin is giving that barrier so that it doesn't dry the mask, because really we want to keep the mask active by keeping it a little bit wet and moist on the skin. Another way to do that is to actually use a facial steamer, and I really do like facial steaming. It helps to just keep the skin warm, which will help soften and open up the skin a little bit, allowing to receive the food that you are giving it rather than it restricting as it gets cold. And it just makes it so much nicer, and it helps kind of hydrate the skin a little bit more too. And I will have a video also that I will put down, the one that I really love so much, the skin hydrating mask that you can use pretty much every day. This one's a really good mask and I love it. It's also great for people with sensitive skin. And the next feeding step will be to be using a serum. Now, you can choose any serum that you like. Most people will usually use the hydrating serum just to keep their skin hydrated a little bit more. It kind of just helps that a little bit with the mask. But you can always use lightening and brightening, you know, maybe for sun damage. That's what I usually use a lot. Serums are a good way to kind of help boost those goals and get your skin prepped and ready over a period of time. That will help with it. Now it's time for the protecting phase. So our first step for protecting is a moisturizer. What it does is it protects your skin. It helps lock in what we just put in the skin. We don't want that escaping. So the next thing we want to do is to lock it in. And the best way to do that is with a moisturizer. Of course, you're going to use that day and night, along with the serum. The serum is also day and night as well. I almost forgot to mention that, sorry. Now, depending on if it's a day routine or a night routine on this one, here's where we're going to switch it up a little bit. If this is a day routine, the next step you would put on is definitely SPF. SPF is very important, and I will talk more about that in a later video. I would say a minimum of 50, if you can even get 100, but nothing less than 30. Now, if this is a night routine, I would always suggest you using a skin oil. That's gonna help be another protection, kind of like a double protection shield to help lock in that water. Because remember, water and oil don't mix, so the water is gonna be inside the skin, while the oil on top is going to help to just kind of keep that from escaping. And like I said, I do have that video, and it's really a good video to watch to kind of give you a better idea of what the oil in your skin is doing for the water and the rest of your skin. So now that I just discussed how you can maintain and keep your healthy, beautiful, normal skin type at its best, I have a special free gift for you, at least at this time. I am giving away my free normal skin type book that I have made. I've written all this down for you with beautiful pictures and beautiful pages. It's not like reading a normal book. It's a very well put together, fun to read book. And so I want to give that to you. So I will put the link in the description down below for you to click. And all you have to do is just give me your information for me to know where to send it to. Also, in case you're wondering more about your skin type and just to look more farther deeper into it and to make sure you are on the right video for your skin type, I will put a link in the description down below as well for taking a quiz on understanding and knowing your skin type. So I will put that in the bottom below for you to take as well. So thank you so much for joining me here at Contour Image, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And just remember to stay beautiful for life.